10 and 10 in the Wadinija, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is lost upon the world. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Onia Digital Media. My name is Paul Lingua, and in today's episode, we'll be talking about Unim Red Tablet, and now 225. Some people have failed to carry out their work. As a result of that, this is destroying Ghanaian youth, and it's actually making waves on social media. It all started yesterday and it's just trending today. And there's this hashtag Stop Red. Do you know what Red Tablet is? This and many more coming your way. If you're new to this channel, can you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that whenever we drop new content, you'll be the first to get notified. Alright, so welcome back. You're still live on Onia Digital Media to take you deep into the story. There's this trending stuff that is making waves. It all started yesterday and with the hashtag UnimRed. And today, there's still that same trend, but then it took different words, to trend, and that is Stop Red. And it's something that's actually destroying Ghanaian youth, which many people do not know. What is it? I know you'll be wondering what actually Red Tablet is all about. Yes, it's a tramadol, and a lot of youth are abusing it. And this is actually causing a lot of panic, in Ghana. And it's like authority, have paid blind eye to it. Who is supposed to actually keep the situation? Who is supposed to educate the youth on this? Or who is supposed to prevent these drugs being imported into the country? We have agencies actually spearheading this, but they are nowhere to be doing their work right. Yes, right. So the previous video actually showcased how people taking these drugs behave, and it's actually a worrying situation. It's common now in Ghana, and not only in the cities but also in the villages or places that are developing to catch up the main cities. Drug abuse is something that we can actually talk about and then live it out, and no one seems to be educating the youth on that. And if you talk about this, let's look at NCC, being in charge of trying to educate people on some of these things and not doing their work. If you talk about them, then they tell you they don't have the funds to carry out some of these things. Yes, that is very true. But then let's look at it this way. What is government saying? The agencies in charge of the importation of these particular drugs, what are they doing? And even the agencies in charge of checking the pharmacies, the counter medicines, stores, what are they also doing? Do they really check out this type of drugs that is commonly used in Africa and Ghana for that matter, where our youth are destroying themselves as a result of wanting to last long in beds, wanting to be high, wanting to so many things as the reason for which they are using that drug. And let me just take you through one or two things. Yeah, so per the dealers and then the marketers or the sellers, they let you believe that it cures erectile dysfunction. Yes, and then also it makes you high and so many other things. But that is not the reality. This tramadol is just a painkiller. But looking at the marketing strategy that the producers and then the marketers actually put out there to lure people into buying and then using this kind of drugs is actually appealing. Yes, people fall prey to that, and it's actually not good. Who is checking some of these things? Who is in charge of making sure that some of these drugs are used properly in Ghana? So this is actually a disturbing situation in Ghana as we speak, and a lot of youth are actually abusing it, and you've seen that in the video that I showed you. Yes, so in fact it's actually not good, and authority must stand up to it. They must come in to make sure that things like this are stopped. They must stand up and make sure that they start visiting some of these shops to moderate the way they sell some of these hard drugs or this tramadol stuff to our youth. It is destroying the country. It's destroying the future of this country. Yet, because they are making money out of it, they don't see anything wrong with that. Kalole, someone will think that when you see the future leader, he's talking about people that are in charge of leadership or those that go into leadership position. If you are a parent, if you are a father, you are a mother, you are automatically a leader. And if we should have our youth involved in some of these things, come to think of it, how would they properly instill disciplines in our children, next generation that they bring forth? You see that some of these things, doesn't actually work out because they won't be able to actually advise their children, instill discipline and what is expected of them to do as parents into these children, and they grow up and become wayward. So when we talk about future leaders, clearly you being a mother, you being a father, a parent, you are a future leader, and not those that are in politics, not those that are in governance or whatsoever. No, you are a future leader far as you are a parent. You are a future leader. Now, I don't want us to talk much about this, but then I want you to watch this video, a video recorded by Kofi Boama, and he has explained into details what you need to know about red tablets and its effect and how this is destroying the Ghanaian youth.
It wasn't registered by the FDA. There is an expose on opioids that come into Ghana, Nigeria, and Ivory Coast, but I'll make a separate video about it. You see, the problem with tramadol and other hard drugs is the marketing by the dealers. If you are not careful, you'll be swept off your feet. So today, I'll let you know some information that you need to know. In the streets or in the ghetto, the dealers say tramadol is for premature ejaculation, meaning when you take tramadol, it will take a long time before you ejaculate when you're having sexual intercourse. 2, tramadol is marketed as an antidepressant or a medication that when you take, you become euphoric, you become high. 3, tramadol is marketed as a medication for fatigue prevention or a medication that when you take, you become strong. That is the strategy of the dealer. But is that the reality? Absolutely not. No, that is not. That is not what tramadol is used for. Tramadol, in fact, is a painkiller, and it is employed or used when, for example, we have a case like someone who is having active peptic ulcer and who is in pain and cannot take, for example, diclofenac or other NSAIDs like ibuprofen, aceclofenac, and piroxicam. Because of the addictive nature of tramadol or 225 or red, there are safer options of whatever the dealer will tell you. For example, for premature ejaculation, there's a safer option. Delay spray is there, which contains lidocaine and vitamin E. It is much safer than taking tramadol. When you are depressed, there are safer options before you start thinking of taking tramadol. Your healthcare provider can and will start from lifestyle modifications, which includes physical exercises. Also, there is behavioral therapy, which is much safer than taking tramadol. When all these ones fail, there are medications that are antidepressant. Sertraline, paroxetine, citalopram, and escitalopram are medications that can help against depression, and they are safer than taking tramadol. If you need to be stronger or prevent fatigue, especially those of you that are working in ports that carry cocoa beans, first of all, you need to cut down alcohol and stop smoking. Eat healthy meals. And also, the ergonomic issues must be solved by the occupational health and safety people at the port. If the ergonomic issues are not solved, you'll be dependent on painkillers, and at the end of the day, you might end up taking tramadol. The maximum daily dose of tramadol is 400 milligrams. 1 tablet of red is 225 milligrams. Some of you take 10 tablets of red, which is 2,250 milligrams. When you take 1 tablet of red, you're already halfway through of the maximum daily dose. So when you take 10 tablets of red, you have taken times 5 of what you're supposed to take in a day. No wonder we see some of your videos on social media. Now, some of you will say, oh, me, I'll not take plenty, I'll just take 100 or 50 milligrams. When the tramadol is not prescribed for you, you are misusing it. Because what are you using it for? When you are taking above the maximum daily dose, you are abusing it. Remember, it has an addictive nature. You have liberty, I've told you what you need to know. Whether you will choose tramadol or you choose what I say, men are free.
Thanks to Kofi Boama for actually taking his time to explain some of these things in the video that I've just shown you, and then much credit goes to him for doing that. And I want to believe that, my viewers, you are now acquainted with what red tablet is. It's a tramadol, the purpose and the reason for which it was created. But then in Africa, it is being misused by people, and come to think of it, it's actually a sad situation. You see people on the streets, the youths especially, using this particular drug, do not know their way out to places. You see them stuck and then they are going back and forth, and this is actually disturbing. Authority must rise to this particular occasion. Yes, it's a clarion call on agencies in charge of this to actually make sure that education is actually put out there so that people will understand, and what is needed, the legal aspect of it that is needed to be done should as soon as possible be put out. Because if counter medicines, okay, stores or shops and then pharmacists are not allowed to sell some of these drugs, trust me, that should be trashed out and not be left there and then sold out to people to use. This is what is actually making waves on social media, and it's a worrying situation. Trust me, we have no future leaders, and this will go a long way to destroying our youth and the country as large. Well, this is where we draw the curtains. The dew of the day has crept upon our thoughts, and nature must obey its necessity. If you're new to this channel, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that whenever we drop new content, you'll be the first to get notified.